Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome to the live. Welcome. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness and healing during and or after narcissistic abuse. Welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking today about forgiveness and healing during or after narcissistic abuse. Welcome, 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 welcome. Happy holidays, welcome. We're talking today about forgiveness and healing during or after narcissistic abuse. Forgiveness and healing. Welcome, welcome. So the live today, as you know, on this channel, we mainly talk about narcissistic abuse from the point of empowerment of empaths and how narcissistic abuse aligns empaths to their ultimate purpose. And today, greetings everyone. Hello, Kingdom Wealth. Welcome, welcome. What we're going to be talking about today is how one actually practices forgiveness and heals during or after escaping narcissistic abuse. And so it's going to be me talking. I'm also going to try to read your comments. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, all the good energies to you. Hello, Diane, welcome. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Happy Holidays, welcome, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, as long as it puts you in a place of good energy, that's all that matters. And what we're going to be talking about today is the process of forgiveness and healing. And thank you so much, Christy. I really appreciate the gift there. How to practice forgiveness and healing during or after narcissistic abuse. How to practice forgiveness and healing during narcissistic abuse. And I'm going to be reading your comments as we go along. So first of all, I always like to ground us in definitions instead of just talking willy-nilly. And I would define what narcissistic abuse is, what a narcissist is, what an empath is, and how this leads to truth. And as Divine Truth said it, forgiveness is freedom. Pass that baton off to the divine, then shine. Precisely correct. So what is narcissistic abuse? Narcissistic abuse is a parasitic relationship, usually very toxic, between a narcissist and an empath, where the narcissist seeks to control in a relationship where the empath is largely driven by the need to connect. So what is a narcissist? A narcissist is a being like you and I, but a being who became extremely narcissistic due to, and there's many reasons, but I'll cover two, due to one, being overindulged as a child. Oh, you're so great and you're the best thing when they didn't have those skills, or being neglected and invalidated. And as a result, they learn that everybody's all bad, and to get what you want, you have to perform and manipulate. So that's what they get good at doing. The unhealed empath is a person driven by connection who has a natural light that is blinding, particularly blinding to their early caregivers. If they are not empaths, narcissists who become triggered by you and your light. Therefore, to compensate for that, they abuse you, they depress your voice, and you begin to learn that the way to be is to give of yourself to the world, which brings the peace. So that's narcissistic abuse. We've talked about a narcissist. And Divine Truth, you said wounded and unhealed wounded. And then we've talked a little bit about what an empath is. So why are we talking about forgiveness? Now, before I talk about forgiveness and healing, it's important to talk about what happens to an empath during narcissistic abuse. The cycle of abuse, as everybody here knows, or if you don't, goes through a very predictable cycle. And usually I will tell you this. Don't worry if you can't see it now, because you typically make sense of narcissistic abuse after the fact, not during it. It's so genius, you don't see it when it's happening, right? And global, you said forgiveness with others is to remember the love you had imagined, then forgive yourself and move on. Precise, and we'll get to that. That's right. So if you've not been a victim to narcissists, you have not felt pain in your life. Adipahima, what kind of query? That's exactly right. And I said she spoke the truth in Tree, a language from Ghana. I presume that's where you're from, Adipahima. But to understand why forgiveness and healing is necessary, it's important to talk about what happens in narcissistic abuse. So narcissistic abuse, even if it's in a family situation or an intimate partnership or with friends, often starts with idealization, right? Idealization, and I see your question, Tish, is there a way for an empath to eventually connect with a narcissist that was neglected? All narcissists were neglected by fake love or devaluation by their parents. So a narcissist, by definition, is a neglected being, you see. But the narcissist entangles the empath. The way you get into narcissistic abuse starts with idealization. And particularly in intimate relationships, they make you, because the narcissist has an innate predatory ability to sense your wounds, and they are masterful actors, they become the embodiment of what you want to see. Right? Which is why you fall for them. And in that embodiment, they also make you feel like you are the most unbelievable, and you are, but they model this in an acting way that makes you feel like this person is my twin flame, this person is my soulmate, and this is how you get entangled. And then after idealization, you go through devaluation, where the mask starts to slip bit by bit, because the narcissist is now getting tired of playing this role. It's an act. So they start to become themselves, or they actually tell you, I'm so tired of being this person, I'm going to just become myself. And really, the truth of what the narcissist is an inherent dark energy that is embodied in this being that is your lover, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your person, your situationship, your mother, your father, your siblings, your children. And the fact is that the person in which you have a relationship with is a broken vessel that has become an incubator, a vessel for dark energies. And if you want to just stick with the psychological definition, you would say it's a perverse manifestation of trauma. But the psychologists end there, and this is where you know it's fully a spiritual dimension. So from a spiritual dimension, this is a person that's been inhabited by the spirit of Jezebel, a dark entity, right? Totally divine truth. It totally is. So what becomes apparent to you is you are not in relationship with the person. You are in relationship with a dark entity. Let me even be more direct. You are in relationship with a demonic entity. And I say this in a literary sense, not in a spiritual sense, right? So when you are in this engagement and it repeats itself at your jobs, in your social life, in your friendships, you can't, even with strangers in the line. And typically when you start to recognize you're an empath, you know it when you meet a person and the person is, high praise Ronald, this is huge. I'm glad you think that. You start to wonder, is there something wrong with me? Why does this keep happening to me? It's because these Jezebelian spirits are also monitoring spirits, right? They're also monitoring spirits. And David Garcia, I don't understand your question, but here we're only talking about narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and forgiveness and healing. So we're keeping the vibes consistent to narcissism and narcissistic abuse. And so we're not dealing with any trolls or trolling energy or negative energy. And if there's going to be any kind of negative energy, I wouldn't waste much time in getting you out, right? So let's just focus on why we're here. Because after overcoming narcissistic abuse, I have not much patience for anything that would seem to be counterproductive. So what's your name again? David M. Garcia. Ask your question in a clearer way, or if you're going to troll, you can leave this live, right? But let me get back to the point. So after you come through this notion of idealization, and then you get to devaluation, you begin to realize you're dealing with a demonic entity. And the way this demonic entity gets to you is to trigger negative emotions in you. How do they trigger negative emotions in you? They trigger negative emotions in you through the strategy of gaslighting, which is to get you to forget your reality. Because words are spells. Then through bullying, through lying, through manipulation, through the silent treatment, all of which are designed to make you forget yourself. You see? Because when you forget yourself, when your mind is consumed with stress and pain, you cannot think about the big questions about who am I and what do I want to do and what do I want to accomplish. Because you're only thinking about how do I escape this? How do I make them happy? How do I walk on eggshells? So your mind becomes under assault. It's just like the children in south side of Chicago have the same PTSD as the children in Gaza. I dare say a person who's gone through narcissistic abuse has the same PTSD as people in war-torn areas because you're constantly in survival mode. And the narcissist deliberately keeps you in this place through manipulation. Tish, having to set boundaries and separate myself from bothering, even though I live with him, it's very difficult, right? Anthony K. Johnson, as a coping strategy, I had to numb some of my parts. Don't worry, we're going to talk about all that. So there's no more numbing, right? So what they begin to do is to create conditions that make you uncomfortable. Kenny Snuggles, yes, makes sense. I ended up turning in on myself and believing I was in that dark energy. Yes, the reason why that happened is because a narcissist is a master Jedi manipulator. So the narcissist is very effective at swapping their projections because the narcissist lives in a constant place of hell. So they swap it with you and suddenly you're now living in hell with them. Because a narcissist's objective is to get you off this heaven pedestal so you can join them in hell, if not sometimes permanently. Let me say it again. The primary objective of the narcissist to an empath is to drop you off your high horse of spirituality and love into this place of hate or hell, right? Galinda, they destroy all holidays. This is what the narcissists do. So if unfortunately, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they're going to destroy your day. They will try. But here we're going to talk about the tactics to deal with that. So now we've talked about some of the insidious things the narcissist does. They will steal from you. They will lie to you. They will take from you. And then all of a sudden, because of all this cortisol, these negative energies that are in you from survival, you actually create the acid in you. You start to get sick. You start to doubt yourself. Your hair starts to fall out. You start to question relationships. You become depressed. You see, light worker, why does the same entity follow you from parents into relationship? Because you are a chosen being of light. So it's a monitoring spirit that follows you everywhere so you cannot manifest your light. And your light is the energy within you that has nothing to do with you. It's just there. And it's also to block your throat chakra. So imagine this. I'm here today talking to you about overcoming narcissistic abuse and forgiving them. Why do you think I'm talking about this? Because I overcame it. I went through it, and the objective was not to overcome it. The objective was to hide my light. So I am living what I'm telling you. I have lived what I'm telling you, just like you all have lived it, you see? And it follows you. It followed me everywhere, light worker. That Jezebelian entity followed me everywhere. The reason why it followed me everywhere is because it is part of a generational curse. Narcissistic abuse is a generational curse. And the curse has persisted in your bloodline because the generations before you could not. And they could not because a significant majority of them were narcissists, and the others were broken empaths who could not overcome the narcissist. So do you see the magic of who you are, that you today in 2024 decide, yet enough in your bloodline? You're breaking curses that many before you could not. That's why you're so targeted wherever you go. Because the moment you wake up from narcissistic abuse, you start to see life as it really is. It's not just escaping the abuse in your family, because narcissistic abuse is what runs the entire planet today. Narcissistic abuse is what runs the entire planet today. So you realize, what is a narcissist? A narcissist is a dark energy that is filled with hate and wants to manipulate for hate. So they trigger you to become hateful like them. So the moment you're in a place of hate and seeking revenge for the narcissist's objective has been accomplished. You see, the moment you seek revenge for the narcissist, you have become like you are in the same hell the narcissist is in. The moment you think, I hope they break their leg, you have become connected to the same low frequency that the narcissist is in. And the narcissist's job is to get you there. Gerard's finally someone who understands the level and depth of trauma of narcissistic and empathy. Thank you so much. So before I start talking about forgiveness and healing, I want to just clarify that the objective of narcissistic abuse is to make you become like the abuser. You see, you've probably heard this notion about the book. There's a book written by a man called Albert Memmi called The Colonizer and the Colonized, where he was analyzing racism from the perspective of the recipient of racism and the person who perpetrates racism. And in Albert Memmi's work, what Memmi said was the victim of racism is as entrapped as the perpetrator of racism. So even if the perpetrator of racism is in a Rolls Royce, they are entrapped by racism just like the person who has no opportunity because of racism. Because to perpetrate racism, for example, you have to put yourself in a cage because you can only give what you have and therefore want to put other people in a cage. So because you are in a metaphorical cage, you want to put other people in a cage. This is how narcissism works. Because I suffer and hate the world, and because I was unvalidated, I've seen the world as wicked, so I have become even more wicked than the wickedness that I experience. So when I see somebody who has empathy, it is my job to destroy that empathy. You see, they tricked us into believing that the devil didn't exist. The devil exists as the narcissistic energy. And I'm not speaking religion here. Do you see? So when you've been targeted by narcissists, you've been targeted by the highest ranking demons. The highest ranking demons are narcissists, just like the highest ranking children of light are empaths. And I use these terms because it makes it simple for me to talk about this. Do they know they're narcissists, Joy, RXL? Of course they do. Because before you, they had so many defeated people. They're so used to hurting people. You were going to be just another one. But you were unique because you had something other people didn't, which is this empathic energy. Then suddenly they face you and realize you were an empath who didn't know you were a dark empath or Hyoka empath. Because remember, before the narcissists met you, whether it's your mother, your father, they were undefeated. Because they're able to get people to the low frequency of hate. You know, there's just two emotions, love or hate. Everything falls under love or hate, according to me, right? It's a binary. So the empath is in permanent love. I want to help you. I want to heal you. I want to connect. Even unhealed. And therefore, it's triggering for the narcissist. You've heard the term, I trigger their demons. That's where that comes from, right? How do we become stronger so that narcissists can't affect us? Your family's working class. This is exactly, you become unreachable by the narcissist when you stay in a frequency of love, which is forgiveness. Why? Because if I was to tell you, forgive the narcissist in your life, some of you would say, what is this man talking about? He must be nuts. But forgiveness is not for the narcissist, it's for you. Because what you're saying to yourself is, Nana, I'm sorry that I allowed you to tolerate such bad behavior. Because at the time you were broken and you acted based on the best available information. That is self-compassion, which is different from, how could you be so silly? How could you not see? And I went through this process. Because when you wake up from narcissistic abuse, the first thing you feel is anger. How did this happen? Why did it happen for so long? Then you go to acceptance, and then from acceptance, you begin to realize how amazing you are for having overcome the abuse. Then the question becomes, I want the narcissist to suffer retribution. And the moment you start to think, I want the narcissist to suffer retribution, you are just becoming like the narcissist. Kill or be killed, an eye for an eye. The trick here is to realize that there's an energy within you that deals with karma. And karma is more glorious and more exacting than any revenge plan you could come up with. But karma requires you to surrender. You see, let me look at some comments. In order to forgive yourself first, you have to take responsibility for what's happened to you. High Priest Wellness. That's exactly it. And taking responsibility for what's happened to you is just to say, at the time, this was the best I knew, And I'm sorry I did that to you, young version of Nana. I'm sorry I did to you, young version of High Praise Wellness. Cassie, learn to love who you are and give that person compassion. You see, you said it so well, because compassion is not for the narcissist. Although when you live in a place of compassion, you also have compassion for the narcissist, because you know that the narcissist is the way they are because they're a broken vessel who's now inhabited by this spirit of Jezebel. This is the wisdom. Now, compassion and forgiveness, let me be clear, does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness does not mean let's have dinner again, right? Tammy, the sunshine of forgiveness melts anger. That's exactly it. Forgiveness does not mean I want to see you again. Joan, so let them get their own karma. Give it up to God. Oh, give it up. That's exactly it. Because the moment you surrender, what you're saying is, okay, I can't do this. So quantum realm, you take care of it. When you trust your divine, your internal compass, your intuition, divine truth, you said it. Because when you pray, you're praying to yourself. Tish, do we cut them out of our life and have love and compassion for them? Oh, I couldn't have said it more directly than you just did, Tish. That's exactly it. What if he's teaching financially as well with another person? Of course. The reason he's cheating on you financially and you are experiencing financial abuse is because you live in a place of lack. And living in a place of lack is a place of hate. You were programmed to be hateful to yourself, because if you are loving to yourself, you will be in your full dark empathy, Heyoka energy. You see? So even lack is a curse, because what these narcissists do is they cast spells with their words or their silent treatments, right? This is what they do. Around me too. So they never get it together. Even we victims already see their head, and that's why they're raging. Yeah, and even the fact that we're worried about what happens to the narcissist is telling of our compassion. But when you are a healed empath, you realize that the person who needs the most compassion is who? You! And when you start to prioritize compassion for yourself and improving your own life and succeeding, that's the worst punishment you could offer a narcissist. Let me say it again. The narcissist came to destroy your light and prevent you from full expression. So after you escape narcissistic abuse, whether you discarded them or they discard you, fly, first love yourself, High Praise Wellness, you said it. You realize that the biggest karma for the narcissist is that you do better on your own than you did when you were with them. And the only way to do that is to forgive yourself. Look, if you knew what karma that heaps upon the narcissist, you will stop thinking about the narcissist and focus on healing yourself. You see, Vanina, absolutely, forgiveness is extraordinary when you get that. It takes work and time. Any tips? Yes. So the first tip is self-forgiveness, because you cannot give forgiveness if you don't have forgiveness. You cannot give what you don't have. So the key is to always be in a place of giving what you have. And if you're in the place of always looking at your inner child and say, little version of Nana, that 7-year-old who couldn't speak for himself, I'm so sorry and I'm here for you and I protect you. And you might even hear that version of yourself saying, I'm so proud of you, you've protected us, and we don't need to people please anymore. And when you are in this place, you become unreachable by the narcissist, because dealing with the narcissist is like electromagnetics, it's physics. The only way the narcissist can reach you is if you're as negative as them. And if you're not as negative as them, then they have to trigger you with negative. Either they love bomb you, which is also negative, or they trigger you with frustration, irritation, chaos, and anger. And the moment you react to that, game over, you see? So you realize that with a narcissist, there's nothing like reaction. It's always about responding, right? Be the parent you needed for yourself. Cassie, that's exactly, it sounds like you've done some inner child healing, right? Oh, Aramita, we're all teachers, and I appreciate you. They go after our empathy and compassion. We stop giving to ourselves. Tammy, this is the point. So this is exactly the point, Joan. So when somebody instantly blocks you, it's gaslighting. Why would you fall for these games? The narcissist has a new lover and they put it on social media. What the fudge? The narcissist blocks you, or the narcissist texts you, don't come to me. You see, the narcissist is driven by control. And a person who desires to control external circumstances is a person who's completely out of control internally. So anything they do, if you fall for the appearances, know that the narcissist is an Emmy Award Academy winning actor. That so the narcissist is not going to project their suffering for you to see. And anytime they act like they're stronger is when they're suffering the most. You see, so don't fall for it, Joan. It's a trick, right? Galinda, they receive karma every day because they live in hell every day. Wise words. This is exactly what happens, right? So you begin to realize that in order to be unreachable by the narcissist, you have to be in a place of love, energetically, because the narcissist is incapable of magnetically connecting to love. DJ, I prayed, read Psalms, overcame rejection, unforgiveness, and bitterness. That's exactly it. Child of God, when I get to the point of understanding healthy boundaries are for me. That's right, because having boundaries is an act of self-love. If you don't love yourself, you would never say to somebody who's disrespectful to you, please don't speak to me like that again. You know, why are you projecting your feelings of inadequacy onto me? You see, so forgiveness starts with the self. And when you forgive yourself, the narcissist cannot reach you because the narcissist is incapable of forgiveness. They live in a place of gaslighting themselves as well. You see, peace, love, and light. Thank you so much. I needed this today. We are in this together. So today, for some people who are celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or have family around them, you're triggered. You have to understand that the only way the narcissist and narcissistic abuse continues is that you have to feel hate. You have to feel frustration. You have to feel irritation. You have to feel the need for revenge. And as long as you're feeling these things, you can't defeat the narcissist. So the way to defeat the narcissist is to start with self-love. Because the only reason why we attracted narcissists is because our parents, who didn't like the fact that we were, or caregivers, who didn't like the fact that we were empaths, and they saw that, programmed us to be self-hating by giving more than we received. That's why we kept attracting these relationships with no reciprocity. Keep your vibes high. That's exactly right. High praise wellness. Diana, how do you handle knock continuously triggers you with triangulating your child versus an issue? This is subterfuge. This is the art of war. Your key, your best friend is boundaries and silence. Become the observer, because the more you allow yourself to become the observer, the narcissist begins to unmask themselves severely until they reach narcissistic rage, which is, I can't trigger her anymore and I'm mad. I can't even use the kid anymore. And narcissistic rage it leads to narcissistic collapse. Narcissistic collapse is the ultimate defeat of the narcissist, where everything they've tried in the past didn't work because you refuse to react. You see, with a narcissist, there's 2 R words: never react, always respond. And an effective response includes silence, because in response, you are intellectually aligned, you are aligned with the heart, and you're not reacting from a place of trauma. And when you do this, the narcissist has no weapon for that, because the narcissist's main arsenal is to trigger you into a low vibrational state. You see, Karen Zarate, that's why I decided I wanted a divorce ASAP. I've been 10 years and my soul is dry to me. I can't wait to free myself from here. I'm so sorry to hear this, Karen, that being married to a narcissist, and I've been divorced twice, is the hardest thing. But the reason why you are married to a narcissist is because you're a true spiritual gangster in the making. And the only way you would recognize the truth of who you are is to be initiated by the highest ranking demon. And the highest ranking demon available is a narcissist. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's your wife or your husband or your mother or your father or your children, right? If the narcissist refuses to embody empathy, then they just stay in that demonic energy, right? Stay above the chaos, observe and don't react is the most powerful strategy. It's just like becoming a samurai. Because when you think about samurai culture from Japan, all samurais are the most deadly assassins, right? But before they become trained in the dark arts, they go through a similar training like a monk. They learn how to meditate, how to control their emotions and their mind. This is what happens to an empath who goes through narcissistic abuse, that you become a spiritual samurai. Don't you see how amazing you are? That you did not even realize the samurai nature in you until a big demon came to try to trick you into forgetting it. And then you began to realize it. So the deeper you go in hell, the higher you rise in divine love. Oh, Tammy, the deeper the hell you experience with a narcissist, the higher your calling. The most painful pain is a projection of the deep power within you. You said it's all science, right? Can the community actually act toxic? Like you love the culture but don't feel welcome? I mean, of course it is. Because the reason why it's toxic to you is to make you feel unwanted. And you can only feel unwanted if you live in a place of self-rejection. And self-rejection only happens when you've been conditioned by narcissists to not see your light. The moment you start to see your light, you don't play that game anymore. Because the people who are rejecting you, let me ask you this, do they know who they are? They don't. Because the hardest thing to do is to know self. So why will I be worried about somebody rejecting me when I know that person doesn't even know who they are and how they came here? It's a scam. It's a game. I want me to don't fall for it. You see? Don't fall for it. This is how it is. No mud, no lotus. That's exactly it, Tammy. And this is the words of the great Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, who often said, "No mud, no lotus," because the lotus flower springs from mud, just like in ancient Egypt. And so the mud was a condition for this great beauty, this great perfume. This is what narcissistic abuse does to us, you see. Kenny Snuggles, can you also talk about how to forgive when you still have to co-parent with them? Let me tell you something, Kenny. Everybody's circumstance is different, but let me speak for experience. With the true narcissist, there's no such thing as co-parenting. There's only separate parenting. But I say this with a caveat that everyone's circumstances is different, right? So but I'm just speaking to you for educational purposes. That's what I would say. There is no such thing as co-parenting. When you accept the fact that it's separate parenting, and then you therefore, I'm glad you found that funny, Kenny. You therefore have to create the environment so when your children come around you, they feel loved, they feel protected, and not manipulated. That's how they become empaths like you, right? Even if you have a partner who is a narcissist. Cassie, what does break you makes one so more beautiful? This is exactly the point. So narcissistic abuse is initiation. It's the same initiation that happens when you join a fraternity or sorority or fraternal order, or you graduate from kindergarten to grade school to middle school to high school to college if you decide to do that. Every time you graduate, you become the youngest person. So similarly, narcissistic abuse initiates you to this spiritual authority. But the moment you graduate, you become what the Christians call born again, a child, confused. And you're in a place of the unknown. And when you first enter the fifth dimension, it is unknown, right? Aramita, I like the safe space team. I'm so glad it works. I'm so glad. And you're always welcome. Tish, loss of family is difficult, but eventually you find those three people to be part of your life. But Tish, look at me. Look at me. I lost everything and everyone. I have relatives still alive who will never see me again. Will never say never. And I've never been more peaceful. Tish, I'm talking to you, Tish. Winning yourself is what this game is about. Winning yourself back. Because you were under, if you experience narcissistic abuse is spiritual slavery in the hell realm. Let me say it again. Narcissistic abuse was spiritual slavery in the hell realm. So you've just escaped hell. And when you've escaped hell, you have to deal with the PTSD. What happened to me? How did I get here? Oh my gosh. How did I do this? Win yourself back. This is what Inner Manage is about. Win yourself back. High Praise Wellness. How do I win myself back? Okay, let me do that with you right now. How do you win yourself back? Just take a deep breath in. And I'm speaking to High Praise Wellness, not High Praise Wellness. Who asked that question? Kingdom Wealth. Right now, wherever you are, Kingdom Wealth, Just look at me. You don't even have to close your eyes. Just look at me and allow yourself permission to stop. And now bring your full attention to the area between your two nostrils and your upper lip. Just be aware you're breathing. You're not breathing. Breathing is happening. Breathe. And as you breathe, affirm for yourself, I am enough. Breathe in. I am enough. Kingdom wealth. I'm talking to kingdom wealth. I am enough. Breathe. Now tell me you don't feel like you just want yourself back a little bit. And if you want more, book a free session at innermarriage.com and we'll go into details. Kingdom wellness, kingdom wealth. But it's important that I walk through that with you, because winning yourself back is, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote this book called The Diamond That Cuts Through All Illusion. There's a diamond in us. There's gold in us. But the narcissists have used these Jedi techniques of projecting their insecurities onto us, so much so that we start to hate ourselves. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Who's going to like me? Who's going to love me? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not husband enough. I don't have enough money. I'm from here. My skin is this. I have this thing. Who's going to love me? I've got kids. Who's going to marry me? Those are just programs so that you become the demon yourself mentally and hold yourself back mentally. So winning yourself back is winning the narrative in your habitual mind, realizing that the mind is not the master, the heart is, and so is the gut, hence gut instinct. And forgiveness is about the state of your gut and your heart. So if you're not drinking probiotics, consult a nutritionist and drink a lot of probiotics. Practice fasting. Drink lots of water. You may even find that your diet starts to change on your own. You see, Joan, I lost everyone at an early age. So much shadowing after my beloved sister's passing. Tell us more. What happened to you? And how did you find yourself, right? How did you find yourself back? You see, so Karen, let's see what you're on here. The Psalms have given me peace after being out and about for years. So someone's talking about how being in a place of prayerfulness has helped them. And meditation for me is a big part of reprogramming your mind. So meditation, you can call it mindfulness, you can call it prayer, because anytime you meditate and you stop, you are connecting with the world within, outside, inside, eyesight, insight, eyesight, insight. And insight is where all the magic is, because when you close your eyes for insight, you are connecting with your inner wisdom, which also connects you with the field, you see. So whatever it is, if you want to win yourself back and really walk into your alchemy, a certain kind of reflective practice is necessary, right? So not only do you acknowledge what has happened to you, but self-analysis, whether it's through journaling or meditation, makes a big difference. Then, of course, trauma gets trapped in the body. As the book goes, the body keeps score. So what kind of somatic practices can reveal that and release that? For a lot of people, working out can be great. Personally, I like yoga because yoga means union between the mind, body, and soul. For others, it can be running. But for others, it can be Reiki healing. For others, it can be regular massages. For others, it can be stretching. So for others, it can be Pilates. For others, it can be walking, if you can do that. For others, it can be going to nature. For others, it can be resting, allowing yourself to sleep. Because when you're in narcissistic abuse and you come out of it, your body is in a place of so much flight, it needs rest, you see. So Beth Kelly, I lost nothing and gave myself back. This is the mentality. This is it. Sound healing, high praise, Helleness. You said it. Solfeggio frequencies, sacred chants, all of these help. You see, all binaural beats, because sound healing, spiritual music like Bob Marley, all kinds of music that have positive vibrations because the people making that music are also empaths, you see. So you're connecting with deep empathic energy. Bach, yes, Beethoven. While I was healing, I was still able to do my physical activities every day, but it happened when I was aware. Yes, you see, yoga without awareness is nothing. Tammy, get the African drums. One of my favorite African drummers is a man from Cuba called Mongo Santa Maria. Mongo Santa Maria. So spiritual music. Yes, one love always, high praise wellness. This is the vibration, you see. So you realize that forgiveness is really about self-care, where you start to fall in love with yourself. And how do you fall in love with yourself? You start to treat yourself just like you would treat a lover. See, the lover loves you because of what you do for them. So why don't you turn what you do for them to what you do for you? See, take yourself on dates. Go to the museum, go to the restaurant, go on that trip, that healing trip. Sign up for that meditation class. Sign up for that new skill. Start that business. Start to walk in your purpose. Ask yourself, who am I and what do I want? What do I want? What do I like to do? Who am I? Ask yourself like you're having a conversation with someone, and you'll be surprised at what comes back to you. You see? So these are all things that when you pour into yourself from a place of self-love, the narcissist cannot reach you. Take yourself on a date, Vanina. That's exactly it. Narcissist Diddy. Narcissist has me physically tense and fleshing my emotions. I have to remind you. See, even right now, everybody's tense. If I told you, just become aware of how your shoulders feel and relax your shoulders. Find your breath and tell yourself, I am safe. I am relaxed. I am safe. I am safe. I find safety in myself. This is the trick. Because you are so amazing. You are so amazing. These covens had to come after you. And I guarantee, if my experience is correct, a number of you here didn't just deal with one narcissist. You dealt with groups of narcissists. You dealt with flying monkeys. You dealt with covens. You dealt with squads. And why would these squads come after you? Because of how gangster you are. Did you see me? They came after you because of how gangster, and you didn't even know how gangster you were. You thought I'm a nobody because you were programmed to think you were a nobody. So I know we're coming to winding down this live, and if anybody wants to join the live with your voice, just let me know, and I'll invite you to talk and ask your question. Make your question brief, but we want to hear some voices, you see. So this is the game. That self-love is the beginning of seeking internal validation, Queen Shannon, and getting out of the business of external validation, Kitty Light. You see? Yehule, Dawn Marie, so many gangs talking me. Because you are so a gangster, they needed that. I was addicted to narcissistic relations because of my people pleasing. We all were, because everything is an addiction. We're addicted to trauma. Rita, let's see if we can get you here and hear what you have to say. If I can find you, or if you can invite yourself. There you are. This is the whole deal. So you realize that forgiveness is the name of the game. Child of God, I'm dealing with that. The biggest struggle is forgiving myself, as he was talking about compassion for my younger self. Yeah, self-forgiveness is so hard. Because how can you look at yourself? Just look at yourself now and say, I forgive you. I forgive myself. Doesn't that feel weird? Go stand in front of a mirror if you can, whilst you're holding your phone, and say, I love you and I forgive you. And if you're struggling with that, it's because you haven't yet embraced fully self-love. And embracing self-love is the beginning of ending this energetic connection to these narcissists, right? This is how the game works. Teresa Denise, I used to be a people pleaser, never said no. It's different now. I feel good, look good, and I'm in a better place. It just keeps getting better and better and better. That's the ultimate revenge. The ultimate revenge is when you become better than you were when you were with a narcissist, you see. And the moment you are in that place, it's game over. And if you want to talk, just send the invite and I'll welcome you. Hi, Praise One. It's always wonderful to hear from you. What's on your mind today?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. One love to you.
Always.
I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that as a therapist or as a counselor, as a coach, it is so important to have a professional like yourself that has experienced narcissistic abuse or any of the sort. And I say that because I have several colleagues who have letters in front and in the back of their names that have not experienced narcissistic abuse.
That's right.
Have not experienced, navigating through oppressive systems, all of the sorts. And so they ask me a lot, how do I help people that look like you? How do I help them? And it's very, frustrating to me in some points, but I will say the importance of a person like yourself that has experienced narcissism or anything like that is tremendous. And I say that because when you're out there looking for a professional to help you, I have friends that have said, Tia, that therapy did not work for me. It didn't help, and I say the reason I believe is because that person personally has not experienced what you experienced.
That's
and
right.
If they haven't, they can, treat it like this. And this is what I told my colleague who hasn't experienced what we experienced. I told her, think of your client like they are a prisoner of war. Think of your client that they have been ambushed. Think of your client, not only that they have been ambushed, that they have experienced friendly fire. And now approach your counseling and now approach them to help them. And so I just wanted to make that very, very valid point that it does matter that the person that you're seeking professional help from has experienced these things. It does matter. It really does. And so I want to give you kudos. I want to say thank you for putting yourself out there as a help, and not having this tremendous PayPal wall up. You do, charge for things, but I really appreciate your method of helping. And I want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for all of the things that you put out, not just on this platform, but on your platform as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, High Praise Waters. And I send you lots of good energy wherever you want. Thank you, sir. And I appreciate you always. And everything you said is so true. And I'll speak more about it. Yeah. So sending you lots of peace and light, because what you're alluding to is the reality that there's something unique about narcissistic abuse. And when you go through narcissistic abuse, you begin to realize that you are called and chosen. And often you don't realize it because you're the last to realize it. Other people realize it. And then when you realize it later, it becomes the source of your ultimate gift. So that's what you're speaking to. And I appreciate your voice tracking and sending you good energy this wonderful day wherever you are, Tia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace and light. Peace and light. One love, one love, one love. Tammy, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Tell us, what's on your mind today?
Thanks for being here today.
Yes, indeed.
On Christmas, I experienced the most horrific day of my life.
Wow.
And my sister had one son, and he got killed on my birthday. So somewhere in her sick, narcissistic mind, I became responsible for his death. After the incident, she looked at me like, checkmate. Somewhere in my belief system, I thought she had power.
Yes.
And I spent a lot of years thinking that she had power over my life for that one instance. And everything after that snowballed based on that belief that she had power. And I've taken my power back, and I'm not angry. I gave her energy. I got my energy. That is when the identity swap happened.
Oh boy.
I became her life. She became my life.
Yes.
I could sit there and watch her living my life. And you had said something in one of a video about not consenting and calling your power
That's
back.
right. That's right.
I do not consent
I don't
to
consent.
an identity swap
Exactly.
with anyone. I pull back my energy.
Exactly.
She leave with her energy.
Exactly.
And I wish her well.
You know, that I have to say, Tammy, that is the spirit. And what you're speaking to is this doppelganger energy, this copycat energy, which is a very demonic energy. Because when you're with a narcissist, like you said, I thought she was the authority figure. This is a trick because you are actually the prize. The narcissist is not interested in you if you didn't have something to offer. You see, so they're interested in you because you are the prize, and the prize you have is this unfabricated empathy spirit within you that is made for these times, these Aquarius age times. So we're not just talking about this in general. It's important to posit it in the context of the now moment. And we are family in the age of Aquarius. You see, yesterday, I understand the Pope opened some portals. Why are these portals being opened? Look at the news. Look at the news stories out there, right? So this is the story you're talking about, Tammy, and I always appreciate your connection here, and I'm sending you good energy wherever you are and lots of peace and light, you see. One love, one love, one love, one love. So you realize that this is the whole reason why you were targeted, you know? Diddy fall to their investment so they can keep taking and taking. And so when you wake up, then you start to give that investment to yourself. And because you are gold. And when you do that, you also forgive them because you might say to yourself, if I was a narcissist, I would want to target me too. And you feel sorry for them. Because when you're in a place of seeking revenge or hoping something bad happens to that narcissist, the narcissist has effectively done their job. So to heal, you must first forgive. And the person you're forgiving is moi, me, you. I am you, not the narcissist. It is forgiving yourself. Therefore, when you forgive yourself, it is possible to extend the same forgiveness to the narcissist. Recognizing that forgiveness extended to the narcissist does not require reconciliation. So in my personal practice, there's a practice that I like called metta, M-E-T-T-A. And metta basically means loving kindness. And the way I practice it is like this. And I talk about this often because it's what I did. So the first level is to myself. I wish myself all the good things. May I be happy. May I be joyful. May I be abundant. Then the next level is for my children, my 3 children. May they be joyful. May they be abundant. May they be healed. Same vibration. Then the third level is for the few friends and family that I have, as well as everyone I work with at Inner Mileage in the past, currently, and the future. May they be healed. May they be abundant. May they be joyful. And here's the kicker. The 4th level is for all enemies. And guess what I wish for the enemies? May they be joyful. May they be abundant. May they be healed. You heard me. May they be joyful. May they be abundant. May they be healed. And in the beginning, I couldn't do that. It was so hard. But I had to embody that because when you're an empath, you think about this. All the bad people in the world who've done bad things have loved ones. Even people on death row who've killed people have men and women who want to marry them. So when you love those who love you, you're just like everyone else. The trick is being able to extend that grace to even those who want to kill you, who want to harm you, who want to steal from you. That's what makes the empath dangerous and unique. that you are able to extend the same grace to those who are not like you, even though Kendrick Lamar says they're not like us, that we extend it to them. Not because we're better, but Vaughn B, you said it because that's the love of the field. That you are an embodiment of that. And if you cannot embody that for those who've hurt you, then you are trapped in the same jail, the same hell realm that they are in. High praise runners, may they be joyful, may they be abound, may they be healed. That's exactly it. Every day. And Von B, we're not interested in whether they want to heal or not be healed. We just focus on our healing. Because the ultimate karma is when the light of divinity starts to shine in you and the narcissist sees that. Because remember, the narcissist is a high-ranking demon who wants to bring you to the demonic side. So when you are unable to be reached in this way, they even become believers in goodness. They won't tell you that. Because the ultimate power to overcome the world is self-love. Christy P, they don't think there's anything wrong with them because there's everything wrong with them and they know it. And to admit it is to crumble their entire false identity. You have an identity, so you take this for granted. The narcissist is an empty vessel, who is broken through abuse and trauma, whether it was overindulgence or neglect, which is why they became a vessel for the spirit of narcissism. This is how they became a spirit for narcissists. So your trick is to remain in love. Child of God, if you want to connect with me, you can book a free session on my website, innermileage.com, and we can talk, all right? Innermileage.com. Let me put it in the chat, innermileage.com. So this is love is the law, braids and beauty. Christy P, hello, it's me. They get their sense of self through us. That's the truest and saddest statement. Every morning the narcissist wakes up, or even before they go to bed, how am I going to be? Who am I going to be? And I don't have my battery power, which is the empath. So even Hitler had Eva Braun. So if you only like those who like you, well, you don't have to like them. If you only love those who love you, you're just like the narcissist. Unfortunately. Me and my sister were raised with the same mother. She became narcissistic. The reason you didn't become narcissistic is because you came here as a volunteer with a spirit of empathy within you. I remember it becomes funny once you realize people lie and can do it eye to eye. And you realize the majority of people in the world have become like that because they become like that because somebody hits me, then I feel the pain and I don't want to be hit again. So I'm like, I'm going to do it to the next person. Then I hit them. And they think the same thing. It's how you have a world of victims, of people hitting each other so they don't get hit again. And this is how everybody becomes clouded with blindness. It's the empath who gets hit who says, oh, that hurt, but why did you do it? You must be in pain. Can I help you? You see how different you have to be in this place? Thank you so much, Kia. Thank you so much. This is the whole kit and caboodle. That to overcome the world, you must overcome the world through love, through self-love. Because self-love defeats the enemy within. And once the enemy within is defeated and forgiven, there's no enemy without. Once the enemy within is defeated through kindness and compassion, there is no enemy outside. Because the reality is there's nothing outside. I'm speaking very metaphysically now. Everything is an inside game. So maybe we'll take one more voice if you want to join before we end this live. But this is the whole story. So if you want to think about how you forgive a narcissist, think about it from the place of the law of physics. That the narcissist can only reach you if you embody negativity. So if you start to embody love, they cannot reach you. They cannot trigger you. They'll try harder, but they cannot reach you. Divine love within. That's exactly it, Tammy. Keep asking for it to reveal itself to you. Because nobody can show you how to do that except you, because we are all sovereign authorities, even if we're not aware of our sovereignty. And you start to believe that until it becomes real in your life. Just in the same way, if you feel like you're a victim or still under spiritual slavery, then you're stuck in the hell realm. It takes courage to forgive. It takes courage to be an empath. It takes courage to be chosen. It's all inside, Brian, Bondi. There's nothing outside. You created this moment. That's why you are here. Just like I created. So we co-created this moment where we're sharing these vibrations together. This is how powerful we are, you see? So in many ways, when you embody, just like Queen Shannon said, when you embody love, it's confusing. And they will attack you with more hate just to prove that your love is fake. And then they realize that actually it isn't. And that becomes the thing that ultimately defeats the narcissist, even if they're defeated privately without you seeing it. That the ultimate karma for the narcissist is love of self and love of the world. And love of self means you've overcome hate and anything hateful in the world. That's how you connect to your own divinity. That's what healing is about, you see? So this is what we do here at Inner Knowledge. We're all about connecting to your higher divinity. We have to love ourselves, Becca. You see, are they aware that they are the wave, they had a paramount wave? Of course they are, because you're not the first victim. They're so good at destroying people, they thought you would be a piece of cake. Easy. You know, why does the empath fail to receive justice? Jennifer, the empath always receives justice. It's the empath who seeks revenge who doesn't get justice, because seeking revenge makes you on the same frequency as the narcissist. To escape that, you have to escape the frequency of hate to the frequency of love and forgiveness. And when you're in the frequency of love, it accelerates justice, karma for the narcissist, you see? So you cannot embody hate whilst thinking that will bring you justice. It means you're still in pain and you haven't understood the pain yet, and you have to see the truth of your pain. If you were a narcissist, Bonnie, you wouldn't ask me this question. So that's your proof. Does that help? If you were a narcissist, Bonnie's question was, how do I know if I am the narcissist? A narcissist would never ask this question unless you're hiding and pretending. There's some scriptures by Dr. Hawkins. Check them out. You see. So we are victors, high praise warners. And this is the message on this beautiful day. Every day is Thanksgiving, but some call today Christmas Day. I just call it Hanukkah. It has significance for many people. So I would just want to send you all lots of positive energy, good energy, and know that the primary way to overcome a narcissist is to embody self-love. You're welcome, Kevin. Kitty Light, that's exactly it. You embody self-love and self-improvement. And once you focus on self-love and self-improvement, you're inviting inspiration to continue to go ahead beyond what you thought you would be able to do. And it aligns you to a purpose. And that's the last thing the narcissist wants to see, because it's the ultimate defeat. So the best revenge you can have on a narcissist is to not think about them and not to think about revenge. Think about forgiveness and healing and self-improvement, because you have a fixed hard drive. And if this hard drive is filled with some hate and some love, what are you doing? Do what you want. But if it's filled largely with forgiveness and love, then you're able to access this unpremeditated wisdom that's available to you only if you embody true love and forgiveness. So I just want to thank you all for joining us today. And I just want to send you lots of good energy and know that you've already won. And so to be in this place of always looking at yourself and affirming how beautiful and lovely and amazing you are. You know, just look at yourself and admire yourself. Check yourself out. You see? Don't put yourself down. Like who you are, because that's the ultimate defeat for the narcissist. So I want to send you good energy, happiness, and all things being equal. See you on this Friday at the same time. Abigail, exactly. I'm checking me out, right? So peace and light. Just remember, you are the all. You are the all. You are the all. You are the all. Peace. Peace.